Welp, it's just another glamorous day of me putting on wigs and heels and dresses in my parents' basement and talking to my phone.
Hello. Hello.
I'd say I'm pretty well adjusted. Happiest of days, my name is Daisiest of Maize, and welcome back to my YouTube series, Booning and Baining. That's right, we are back with the series where I take a seemingly irrelevant topic and absolutely dissect it in a way that it did not ask for, does not deserve, and it'll probably experience again. And that's okay, I'm just warming it up. It's the same technique I'm going to take when I eventually raise kids, probably not my own, but someone's, where I just expose them to everything and let them figure it out. We're trying to make sure the drag queens don't seem like groomers, and I don't think I'm doing much to help that cause. Oh boy, disregard me. I'm a special case. Okay, emphasis on special. So yes, welcome back. My name is Daisy Mays, and I am your hostess here on my YouTube channel. I would assume that you know that. I would hope you know that. Context clues, baby. Context clues. Just like a few of them. Like a little bit here and there. And today we're talking about a topic that I initially didn't know that much about it, but after playing her briefly as sort of a joke, it wasn't a joke to me, but it was a joke in the context of the script. I played her in the Pinup Girls at New Jersey Repertory Company when I did their show. God, it was probably like 2 or 3 years ago now. It was a wonderful time, and there's a bit where we're all impersonating celebrities of, the 50s, 40s, 60s, all in that general wartime eras. And the one that my character, Joel, was portraying was Nancy Sinatra. Came out in the very boots that I am wearing today. Here, wait. Yeah. Don't let Nancy see. I don't need her to see that I'm just doing the bare minimum. It's okay. Listen, they're great. I love these shoes. I have no problem with these shoes. Me and the fresh face of Asbury Park, Miss Mary Jane Monroe, we love these shoes. And everybody can eat shit, okay? I used to have some that were pink and sparkly and glittery, and I loved them. But God, what the fuck do you wear those with? Oh, something decent, I hope. I hope somebody figured something out. So anyway, the topic today, if the context clues weren't enough, is Nancy Sinatra. What a fabulous broad. What a grade A bitch. Am I right? Oh, she's just so chill. She's one of those celebrities very much in the same vein as God, who's a good example? Kristen Stewart. She's in the same vein of Kristen Stewart where, regardless of whether or not she has, what people would call star power, regardless, which I think they both do, obviously, and they've proven that, and they don't need to prove it to me. I'm just some cross-dresser in my parents' basement. Who fucking cares what I think? You, because you're here. Don't you dare click off. You made your choice. You're here to stay now. Beep, beep, Georgie. Anyway, she and Kristen Stewart and many other actresses and performers and singers and everything like them they really fall victim to they got a big break, and they did a very good job in those big breaks, but people just fucking lashed out at them. I don't know if it was the timing, or people would say that they have no personality, that there's no charisma, that there's no star power, and I firmly disagree on all accounts. You're gonna tell me that the daughter of Frank Sinatra doesn't have star power? You're gonna tell me that the lead in all of the Twilight movies, which granted they weren't great, but she was doing the best she could to put some glitter on a turd, okay? And she wasn't responsible for that turd. Somebody else took a shit and was like, okay, sell that. And she was like, okay, guess I'll bite my lip a lot. And that's not her fault. That's not her fault. That's everyone fucking else's. And not even the director of the first movie. She didn't do a bad job. But the two male directors that subsequently directed the others, the fucking worst. Just, what are you thinking, girl? What were you thinking? Anyway, Nancy Sinatra, I love her. I love her, and I think she gets a bad rep. I think she gets a bad rep for having being a one-hit wonder. First of all, what's wrong with being a one-hit wonder? Excuse me. And second of all, she has lots of other music and stuff that's to this day has been going on. Anyway, boon number one is that Nancy Sinatra is just so fucking cool, despite everybody being ready to shred her at any given moment throughout most of her career. I gotta say, it's gotta be difficult being the child of somebody who was so famous and iconic for a very specific thing, and then you trying to be famous for the same thing. But I mean, like, what was she expected to do? What was she expected to do? She wanted to pay tribute to her dad, and she did a great job, and she also found her own sound and voice and style. A lot of the 60s and the mod movements were defined by moves made by stars like Nancy Sinatra. So, like, how can you tell me that she's not doing shit? I mean, that's patently untrue. And if you want to bring it back to the boots that were made for walking, yes, that's absolutely what she's most known for. But You Only Live Twice, I think that's the name of the song from James Bond, right? 007, bitch? That was some good shit. She's a vibe, okay? Nancy Sinatra is a vibe, despite all of the haters telling her that she wasn't shit. And who cares what they think? They're dead. I assume. So Bay number 1 goes hand in hand with that. She had so many haters, and has to this day so many haters. I don't know why. People who are just like, why did she ever become famous? Nepo baby, she's untalented. I'm like, all of those are untrue. First of all, being a Nepo baby doesn't automatically mean that you are less talented. You definitely have an in, and it's easier for you to make your start, but like that doesn't mean that you have more or less talent than anybody else. You have just as many chances of being gifted or developing your skill and your craft. So like, why are we shitting on her for that? I think that's kind of done. I think that's kind of over. I mean, the kid who played Marvel in the Hunger Games, whose kid was that? Bill something? I don't remember. But he, like, that could very easily be called a Nepo baby, but I think he more than earned his status by giving great performances. I mean, he was in The Boys, and he did a fantastic job there. So yeah, Bane number 1 is that the hate she gets is really unwarranted. And I really don't know why. I mean, she doesn't have less talent than someone like Lana Del Rey or Peaches or Cupcake, okay? She may not have the strongest voice, but she has a very distinctive style, and she knows how to deliver that style. Lots of artists never develop their own voice and their own style, despite having talent. Talent is not necessarily the be-all, end-all. Like, having a nice voice is not a guarantee you're going to be a good singer, a popular singer. It just means you have a good voice. Somebody else might have to write your stuff for you so that you sound like you know what you're talking about, or just so that they can use your voice. It might not be anything that you want to say. I think Nancy had a lot of her songs written for her, but I think she also, if I'm not mistaken, played guitar. And she has a very like that sultry kind of like almost bored alto voice. Like, that's great. And it's influenced a lot of modern day singers. Lana Del Rey. Even some of Lady Gaga's stuff is very Nancy Sinatra coded. Shut the fuck up. We know your dick is huge. That's why you need such a big car, to make up your massive dong, right? Right? It's definitely not a little light switch. That couldn't be it. I don't think you guys could hear the car driving past my house, but I certainly could, and I'd like to talk about it. I'm not going to, though. So yeah, I feel like society has had a problem with it girls just in general. They hate the concept. They hate Nancy Sinatra, they hate Marilyn Monroe, they hated Paris Hilton. Like, they just haven't had a lot of respect for these it girl pop culture presences. They really don't like them. I don't know why. But as Aaliyah's interlude so transcendently put it,
bitch, you know I'm sexy. Ugh, don't call, just text me. Bitches slow, can't get on my speed. They stare cause they know I'm the ITGIRL. You know I am that girl.
And you know Nancy Sinatra is that girl. So boon number 2, the fashion girl. Okay, Nancy Sinatra's fashion is fucking lit. Oh my god. This look I'm wearing now, I think this is one of my mom's old dresses, but I kept it and I styled it because it reminded me of like the 60s mod dresses that I remember seeing most on Nancy Sinatra. Granted, it was still a little before my time, obviously, but you know, when I was first starting to get into drag and this kind of stuff, that was one of the influences that I was like, oh, because I was really into Trixie Mattel, and I still am. And all of her 60s stuff led me to other 60s icons like Priscilla Presley, like Nancy Sinatra, and like lots of other 60s icons, many of which are still going strong. Her presence in fashion and in pop culture will never be erased, for better or worse, and I think that's great. I know no press is bad press, but I think that's patently untrue. And I'm dedicating at least part of my life to making sure that she gets the good kind of press whenever I can. Hence this. As for Bane number 2, I know I just sung her praises over and over and over again, but you know I gotta be fair. I gotta be fair here. Bane number 2 is that she had some hits, but I would say unfortunately the majority of Nancy's music is it's tenuous. It's a little boring sometimes. I don't think I've heard most of her catalog, so maybe I'm talking out of my ass. I usually do. But still, I just feel like a lot of her music doesn't live up to like her one or two major hits. And I don't necessarily think that's her fault, because I think a lot of the time people didn't know how to write music for her. The music she was writing for herself probably wasn't getting greenlit as often, because, you know, it sucked to be a musician in the 60s. It really sucked to be a female musician in the 60s, especially when you have a famous name attached to yourself. So like everybody is already like banking on you succeeding, so they're like not willing to let you take any sort of risks, and that's disappointing. But like, you know, c'est la vie, I guess. So unfortunately, her repertoire is not full of bangers, but the few that are bangers, you know about them, and you'll always know about them. I mean, I know I keep coming back to the same shit over and over again, but these boots were absolutely made for fucking walking, bitch. Oh, so good. Girl, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Fantastic. And it's in a low enough key that I can sing it in the original key and it still feels great. I'm planning on doing that at some point, maybe at Drag Wars one night with this look most likely. And maybe white gloves. I have white gloves, I just grabbed the wrong ones. So boon number 3, I am exceedingly happy to report, is that Nancy Sinatra is still middle of a sentence this time. You love that, don't you, baby? Anyway, boon number 3 is that Nancy Sinatra is still absolutely rock and rolling. Okay, she's actually been picked up by a lot of like more indie groups, and indie music scenes are starting to like feature her. And that's fantastic. And like, not just like sampling her previous stuff, bringing her in to do new stuff. I don't have the references on me right now. I remember watching a video about Nancy Sinatra, like a whole documentary. It's on YouTube and it's great. But she's actually been like very active in the modern day, working on all sorts of new shit. And that is just so fucking cool. I'm glad. Those haters, they didn't stop her. And they're all dead. And she's still alive and kicking, rock and rollin', locking and loading your ears with music. And bane number 3, the penultimate bane, is that I feel like not a lot of people know that. She's not as famous as she was, but she is still a working musician. So I imagine if I were her, and this is just speculation, this is just totally conjecture. If I were her after having the youth that I did, I would absolutely be thrilled to still be working, but not be at the front and center homepage of pop culture. I don't need to be like, after I've been famous, I don't think I would want to be famous again to that sit. Like, I would want it to be like ebbs and flows, you know? I would want it to be like manageable. I think we're coming up on a renaissance for her if she's getting up there in age. So if she manages to stick around a while longer, I think she could definitely have a renaissance. I mean, she's already kind of having it, but I would love for her to come back to like the foreground. You know what I mean? Nancy Sinatra, overall, I don't even have to think very hard about this, obviously. She's a boon. She's a boon. She's a boon to society. She's a boon to pop culture. She's a boon to music. And anybody who disagrees can, you know, just kind of lick my taint, if you would. Gobble my bean, bitch. Gobble it. Gobble, 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 gobble. Happy Thanksgiving. It's not Thanksgiving. So yeah, overall, Nancy Sinatra, Nancy, I'm wishing you the best. Girl, please, never, ever look at a video of me portraying you in the Pinup Girls at New Jersey Repertory Company. I had a blast. I loved it. It was not flattering for you, and I'm so sorry. But I had a blast. Just know that while I was inhabiting your aura, your essence, your spirit, I was vibing. So, you and me, girl. We're gonna hang out someday. Probably not anytime soon, but still. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, then please, for God's sake, like the video. It's not that hard. I like. Get it? It's, yeah. I just appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. Also, if you feel like it, share the video. Tell your friends about it. Leave a comment telling me how awful I look or how much you hate Nancy Sinatra. I'll block you, but, you know, I'm happy for the engagement. Yay. Also, if you haven't already subscribed, please do that. Subscribe. And while you're at it, hit that nifty little notification bell so that you get notifications every single time I post some brand new cotton candy cartoon plant-based clowny ass content. Clowny cunty content? Content. Nice. It's not that nice. Anyway, but yeah, I post episodes of Booning and Baiting every week while we have a season active, and then I take a long ass break to just kind of put my life back together, and that's great. Yeah. So yeah, thank you again for watching. I've got to get going to a show, which I'm very excited to be doing. My name is Daisy Maize, and I am wishing you all some very happy days. Mwah. You keep saying, would you shut the fuck up? Girl, you keep saying you've got something for me. Something you call love, but confess. You've been a messin' where you shouldn't have been a messin'. Yeah, and now someone else is getting all your best. Cause these boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. It's probably not the original key.